Have you ever used the SDK or something? Or have you ever, who else here has seen anything about Decentraland? Any Photoshop videos or something? So Decentraland is a virtual world owned by its users. I think that we are already kind of well known in the cryptocurrency space. And this is an actually very important day for us because this is the first step into having users actually use the platform. Up until now, it's only been developers. Our value proposition for developers is that there's no platform lock-in. Well, there's no platform lock-in. It's an open source project. Developers can get to keep all the money they make out of the experiences they create on Decentraland, in contrast to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, where you have to forfeit up to 30%, and that's even worse in the case of the WeChat platforms or the Tencent platforms. And it's all powered by Ethereum, IPFS, open standards, and open source. The land of Decentraland, we call it Genesis City, is comprised of 90,000 parcels, 300 by 300 square. The green areas out there are plazas owned by Decentraland, where we are going to be creating some experiences to onboard users. That's where users are going to appear for the first time. The blue areas are districts built by your community. We've got about 55 of them. There are projects such as Ethereum, which is a cypherpunk-inspired city. The Fashion District, which aims to be a virtual shopping mall. And then the Battleground District, where the guys that are building now there want to create a hub for indie video games and all kinds of video games that are created on the platform and curate and actually build games inside of it. The project started way back in 2015. It's evolved a lot. At the time, it was just kind of like a version of the $1 million website, but using a blockchain, which was actually, don't try this at home, it was a blockchain that ran exclusively on a browser. And it was a modification of the Bitcoin client, and instead of Bitcoins, you will mine land. It was a nice idea. The browsers communicated with WebRTC. It was all completely peer-to-peer. And we evolved into giving this project and this idea of creating a decentralized virtual world the attention it deserved. Last year, we did a token sale to fund the development of the project. And last year, in December and January, we had the largest virtual land sale auction ever for 160 million money. At the time being, it was about $60 million. This also happened using some kind of particular state channel, which is also a scalability solution. So we've also been innovating in that regard. It looked like this. It was a grid of all the different parcels that were up to sale. This is actually a version of development, but we created a kind of like a shopping cart for all the parcels that you wanted to buy. And then when you click confirm bids, MetaMask will pop up and you will sign a message, and you had instant finality, which means that you knew automatically that your bid was accounted for. It was a very interesting usability improvement because you didn't have to wait for your transaction to go through an ether scan or whatever, or pick any strange gas amounts. So it was a very interesting experiment. I feel weird to use that word, but earlier this year, in March, we launched our marketplace. We're seeing a lot of activity in here. Most of the DApp, radar, reviews, and platforms are not listing much of our volume because it's set in mana. So you should go check it out and see if you fancy buying any of those lands out there. We're planning to add support for other assets as well. So in April, we launched the very first version of the Decentraland SDK. The guys here, some partners of ours, have been building on that from the early days. We've improved a lot on the different ideas and process. Again, sure, have some battle scars from the process of improvement. Right now, the 4.0 version that we currently have is pretty solid, and there are some cool experiences that are being built. It's pretty easy to set up, and let me show you some of the things that our fans are doing. This is a random guy on Twitter that has been posting. He's got some kind of like crypto art gallery and the history. Those are actually videos that you can play inside of the platform. He's got a recollection of how this building has evolved over time. He's got a little elevator and some stairs to the second floor where he's got a virtual art gallery. At some point, we had support for actually verifying those assets. So if you were both the owner of the land and the asset, then it will appear with some special shader effect. We took that out because it was a little bit too centralized for my taste. We need to better improve on how to actually validate that without us policing how the NFT looks on a 3D environment. So we're now focusing on building actual games inside of Decentraland. With all the explosion of different blockchain games coming around, we want Decentraland to be a home for all of them, a place where they can have some mini games, some teasers, and from there, getting their project well known. Like, for example, Ethereum, which is a very fun game to catch, train, and play with little monster creatures. Let me show you a demo. This is a battle experience that is taking place on the blockchain, and it's an actual simulation of what the smart contract is doing. Actually, at the beginning of the arena, you start the transaction from there, and the simulation allows you to wait for its confirmation, but you kind of already know how it's going to be. So right now we're focused on making sure that this scales to as many people as we can. So we're working on different alternatives of how can we have a sidechain or another layer 2 scalability solution. And most importantly, how the user experience of that is going to look like. We recently partnered with Byronson, a company in South Korea. It's a very large game studio. And they are porting one of their games called James's Quest. James's Legacy. Sorry. It's very famous in Korea, but not from there. And they're calling it Satoshi's Quest. And now today, we're releasing the first version of Decentraland. So if you'd like to get inside of this little, this is how it's looking like right now. This is actually footage, not like our marketing material from. Those are the avatars that we picked for the time being. There's some glitches here and there about the rendering, but it's we picked this aesthetic without shadows because it's easier technically, but I think that we're getting to a very nice aesthetic. That's one of our product managers. He looks exactly like it. So, any web developer can build on our JavaScript API. We're also providing support and financing for developer projects building on our platform, incubating teams in a co-working space. We're opening also in Korea. There are some upcoming meetups, one here tomorrow in Hong Kong, another in Shenzhen the day after tomorrow. If you want to get our alpha access NFT, send us an email at genesis@decentraland.org. Thank you very much.